Hello. How's everybody doing?
Good evening, my dear.
Awesome Sunday.
It is Sunday.
Yeah, it is. Almost the end of the month. Almost 2022.
Almost close to a whole new year. You know, I'm going to have to come up with a brand new sounder for next year.
I got one for you.
It's 9 cents.
I was thinking is like a scream, and then shatter of glass. A scream and then glass breaking, crash.
That's a good possibility. I mean, honestly, do you see 2022 being any different than 2021 or 2020?
Well, like they say, 2021 is now old enough to drink, so it has been a here, hold my beer kind of year. That's for certain. I still think that the Mayans had it all wrong when they were, or I should say the scholars, when they were reading the Mayan stones, and they came up with a date of 2012, which was a great movie. Don't misunderstand. I love that movie. God, that was really an exciting movie. But in all actuality, because life as we know it did really die, but they were a few years off. Although 2012, the numbers are similar. It was actually 2020 when the whole world fell apart.
My question is
speculation.
Yes. How much of the calendar has been tinkered with, messed with? You know what I mean? Because they're really good at doing that.
Manipulated.
Just like the Bible. Oh yeah, just like the Bible's been manipulated and
rearranged. Oh yeah. I have a tendency to look at it as a book written by man for man.
Yeah, but
kind of like Aesop's fables, but not quite.
It
here's
is
what you
in
should
a
do,
sense,
and here's Yeah.
But you know, like the Old Testament is supposed to be very factual. But they have removed books, and I don't know where those books went, Old Testament, New Testament, but I know, you know, most of the New Testament, you know, it's more parables and
Right, like Aesop's
prayers and,
fables. Right.
you know, things like
How
that.
you should
So,
be.
right. But yeah, there's just been a lot of stuff
A lot
coming
of
out about how
monkeying with
they've,
it.
yeah. So I don't know. So let's go on and get this. We got a lot to talk about today.
We do.
So let's get the
Get me out of the way.
hello going, and yeah, all that good stuff.
I love that music. Good afternoon, my fellow Ain't You a Peachers? Happy Sunday. It's the 353rd day with only 13 remaining in 2021. Today is National Oatmeal Muffin Day. That sounds awfully painful to get oatmeal in your muffin. The American muffin is similar in size and shape to a cupcake, known for its health benefits. Millions of people start each day with an oatmeal muffin. Oatmeal includes health benefits for our hearts. It's also National Hard Candy Day. Most hard candies are 100% sugar with flavoring and colors added. Too much. To achieve, where did it go? I gotta go back. Okay, to achieve a hard candy, confectioners boil a sugar syrup to 320 degrees Fahrenheit. Once the temperature is reached, the hot, pliable sugar is poured into molds or rolled and folded into shapes and left to cool. Once cool, solid sugar becomes hardened and brittle. It's a day 644 of 14 to flatten the curve. Thank you, Liberty Lighthouse. They were on last night. What do cannibals do at a wedding? They toast the bride and groom. And I don't mean with a glass. They toast them light and easy. I know that's really bad, but I thought you'd get a kick out of the cannibals. Hi, Miss Jamie.
Hi, Mr. Love. Oh, so I don't know how many of you have watched the movie that Brad and them spoke about, Capital Punishment, that talks about the happenings on January 6th, the so-called insurrection. Mm-hmm. But we decided to talk about it. There's a lot to talk about.
It really is. Now, everybody can get the movie. All you have to do is go to the website is capitalpunishmentthemovie.com. It's not even $10 to buy yourself a copy. It's only $9.99. The Capital Punishment, the movie.com. Everybody needs to get it. All your whole family, friends. If you, your blood pressure needs to increase tenfold. Yeah, everybody's. Yeah.
I will say that he threw some comedy in there. I mean, we did need a laugh throughout the movie to kind of.
Otherwise, you'd have been throwing things that just got on Black Friday TV set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but it, and he didn't just claim things. He had the proof to go with it, the interviews, the videos, all. I mean, it's all right there. Everything that mass media is covering up, everything that our government is denying. He interviewed people that were there, and the things that these people went through after the fact, the things that they said occurred during the fact, I mean,
They
yeah,
had everything there except a cup of coffee.
Pretty much. So
And
you want to start?
Sure. You can get coffee. You can get your very own special coffee. Is that what you have right there in your peach cup?
I actually have the Christmas coffee that someone sent me for Christmas.
Santa, I do believe, yes, I do believe I remember hearing this redhead grumbling, "Wow, when am I going to get my coffee?" And who knows, Santa just brought you some. And you can get that, well, you can't get the Christmas coffee because that was the Christmas basket. And it expired, let's see, today is the 18th. It went by 3 days ago on the 15th, if memory serves right. But all the other fantastic flavors and
today's the 19th.
Yeah, what did I say?
18.
Oh, well, I'm only a day off. Day late. A story of my life. Day late and $1 short. What can I say? So if you go over to APR Coffee, that's AmericanPrideRoasters.com, at AmericanPrideRoasters.com, as our Rusted Lugnet says it, you can order yourself some great American coffee, or coffee drops, or tea. They have all.
Yeah, I got some chocolate drops too, and this cup right here, insane tumblers, Mr. Rocky Stucci.
Right.
Y'all need to get y'all Ain't You a Peach tumbler.
Yep. It's contagious. The whole family has one. And doesn't that look like my compadre in crime there? I mean, she did. That's her.
Oh, I try. What can I say? So, I guess we'll start at the kind of at the beginning. Number one is the media lied about how many people. They didn't even cover it. They covered the speech, the Trump speech. But outside of that, they didn't show the full crowds. They acted as if there were a couple of 100,000, maybe. There was a lot of the crowd is saying close to 2 million.
Between 2 and 3 million is what they estimated the attendance to be. That was from the people that were there, a couple of the commentators.
So there were, we all heard the reports down the road about the possibility of Antifa and BLM people infiltrated the crowd and pretended, did their mega hats and their red, white, and blue clothing instead of their black clothing, which there were a lot there also with black clothing on. And they all said, no, that's not true. It didn't really happen.
But they were there on video. For it not happening, they were there. And
not only
let's face it, MAGA people are fairly polite to each other. Those people in the video, especially that one gal that was changing, she had a potty mouth from it was like a Woodstock porta potty after the end of Woodstock. I mean,
she was very defensive. She was very, very defensive.
And rude.
But they saw some changing clothes. They saw people with the actual Antifa garb, the helmet, the black clothing. What was it? The red and yellow or something?
That was for
the BLM.
1 second. Yeah, but I mean, I have his name. Oh, John Sullivan. Yeah, he's a hungry. You must be hungry there.
My finger.
Yeah, John Sullivan, Antifa, and he's a BLM leader as well. He was also there with his girlfriend Jade.
Yeah, and there's video. They actually have video of him and his girlfriend inside of the Capitol talking to each other, but it's on video, saying, enticing the crowd, go get them, and then looking at each other and kind of laughing, going, we did it, because
at the end,
that was
right.
their plan. That was their whole plan, was to go in there and
incite violence.
Just get it. Yeah. And there's video of the Capitol Police removing all the stuff and come on in,
inviting the
crowd,
protesters from outside to enter here. Come on in. And then at the same time, on the opposite side of the building, it was literally World War III. The police were shooting tear gas, pepper balls, flashbangs spraying them with bear spray, pepper spray. Literally a riot situation on one side. And the other side, the doors were open. People were essentially invited in. And the crowds that did enter, a wide open hallway with the velveteen rope set up as a walkway. And the people stayed between the walkway, except for the few photographers who were
taking selfies
out in the side. Well, like Nick Searcy, the general maker of the movie, stated that these, as they call it, insurrectionists on January 6th, showed up with flags and selfie sticks. Now in Nicaragua and countries like that, they showed up with, bombs, bullets, and, torches, not flags, and singing Kumbaya. Of course, now they showed video of them nuns. And, well, if anybody went to a Catholic school, like Cersei said, them nuns can be violent on your knuckles.
Well, that's what I saw. A lot of people dancing and singing. Some people were praying. It was like they were trying to make everybody out to be terrorists, but at the same time, no one was armed. No threats, no anything. What bad there was all instigated by the people who infiltrated this whole thing.
Right. It was either the federal establishment themselves, just like with the Whitmer kidnapping plot. They had 14 people involved in that plot to kidnap the governor and hold her accountable for COVID crimes. Well, out of the 16 people altogether that was going to get her, 12 of them were feds instigating it. So the people weren't really involved until the cops got there and went, hey, man, we need to do this. Okay, yeah, let's do that. The same thing happened at the Capitol.
They even interviewed the guy that was a DEA agent that was there for his country, not work-related, who took someone with him who was an FBI informant, who also tried to lure him inside. He felt that he was trying to lure him inside because he was kind of scared or nervous or whatever, but there were all kinds of people there, and then there were people saying that people were pushing them forward to go in, and
that was the Antifa
not
people.
Pushing them out. There was no one pushing them out. They were pushing them in. The two older ladies even asked one of the Capitol policemen, because they said there was a line of Capitol policemen inside, and she asked, are you upset with us, or mad or anything like that? And he said no.
Yeah, that was Laura and Maureen, a pair of the insurrectionists. They're 74-year-old sisters. Yeah, really big insurrectionists. So let's see, another insurrectionist who was there was Ella. She's 76.
The two twins, you mean? You mean the two twins? The twin
Yeah,
sisters?
that was Maureen and Laura and Maureen, right? The sisters, and they almost went to jail, but some of the others did. And then even after the incident, they had billboards up along the highway. Hey, have you seen or do you know anybody that was involved in this? Please, if so, turn them in by all means. We need to know.
And the one that they talked about was in Pennsylvania. It's a 800 number. If you have information, please call this number.
Right.
And their neighbor was the one that called and reported them.
Right. And the people that got arrested, they didn't have a MyPillow, but you can get a MyPillow. And the way you get one is if you go over to that's right, mypillow.com. And while you're at the website, if you go over about 3 boxes right there, and then down about 3, it says radio specials. And you click on that radio specials and you use the promo code MOJO50 and you can save some money. I do believe they've got the Mike Lindell pillow, the My Pillow, on sale for like $9 for the, I guess it's the small size.
I think it's called a travel pillow. That's what it's called.
Is that the travel pillow that's $9?
Yeah, and there's like 6 or 7 different ones. They have like different covers on them. And
firmness and different, and they've got like a 10-year guarantee. Hey, after 10 years you go, yeah, well, I guess I've slobbered on this thing too much. I want another one. And all you have to do is go to mypillow.com and use the promo code MOJO50. Unlike the people that got put in jail for days and days and days in solitary confinement, without adequate facilities, without representation, without a phone call, without being Mirandized, without anything. And even the warden of the jail came by and told the guy, hey, look, the only thing my guards have to do is make sure your chest rises and lowers. That's the only thing they have to do. That's ridiculous. This is America. America has rules. We have the Constitution. We have a set of guidelines that were supposed to be followed, but it isn't anymore. With the new regime, the CCP is in charge and large in America.
The thing that got me was the fact that even the dark-headed lady that does all the touring and stuff, she even mentioned that
Dr. Gould,
they, if they wanted her to come in to question her or whatever the case was, they didn't have to send people to break down her door. All they had to do was make a phone call, but they didn't. They banged on doors. One of the families had, I think she was probably about 12, 13-year-old daughter. Both of them actually had like 12 and 13-year-old daughters.
Derek's daughter, right.
Yeah, and they handcuffed the daughters. They banged on the doors. The house was surrounded by all these armed, people. There were red lights pointing at them, from the lasers.
Laser pointers.
I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, these people do not have police records. They are not, they're standing citizens. They pay their taxes. They work. They do what they're supposed to do. And yet they treated them all like they were literally going to bomb the Capitol. And, one woman even ended up having a miscarriage shortly after they raided their home.
2 days after they raided it. Yep.
I mean, she said they had guns pointed at her, and they already had a smaller son pointed guns at them. I mean,
the laser dots pointed at her belly and at his chest. A 7-year-old. Yeah. Now, if you're in a combat zone, okay, yes, it's been known that, even back in Vietnam, little kids would come up and throw hand grenades in the middle of the troops. In Afghanistan, yes, the little kids would come waddling up and set off a damn suicide vest. That's not America. No. At least not yet. Not. And it might probably never be, but they're treating the populace as if it were a combat zone and they were heathen, scurvy dogs with, That's like I say, that's how you treat insurgents. That's how you treat the enemy, not your fellow Americans. There's no due process anymore.
I want to show this video, and I know a lot of you have already seen it. We're going to show this real quick before the break. I want y'all to pay close attention to, is the video, I'm lost on my screens here. Okay, I think, don't know. Can you see the video?
Yep. It says, warning, this video includes images and or audio some viewers may find disturbing.
Okay, y'all pay close attention to all of this. There's no sound.
And one of the gentlemen there in the hat that's enticing the destruction of government property there is one each John Sullivan, the Antifa BLM leader. He can be heard on tape. That officer had no business doing what he did. There's a set of, and look, the regular cops are right there behind him. Right there, boom. And then he's, oh, okay, you all right? Yeah, you're all right, he says to the guy inside. Yeah, no.
We'll be right back after the break and talk about this video. Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. Oh, me. Oh, I need to wake up. I need to drink more coffee.
32 and 22. Come back at 30, so 2 minutes after we get back.
Eight minutes after. Isn't it? Or is it 4 minutes?
Is it 38? I think it's 32. I have to go look at my paper. Now you have me confused.
I have no idea, to be quite honest. As long as we get them in there, who cares?
38 and 52. You're right, 8 minutes after we get back. Eight and 22, just like coming into it, except backwards.
All you watching that aren't just listening on the radio, y'all need to get that video and watch it.
It's good. The movie really is good. Most excellent. Oh, but it will jack your blood pressure. Especially when they start talking about the punishment some guys got. Holy shiza and fall in it. That ain't America. No. Freedom pills will fly. I do believe.
Oops. It's pretty bad that we have resorted to screwing our own country.
Coming in hot, as they say on Off Track.
Welcome back. Welcome back. So,
welcome back to Ain't You a Peach?
They interviewed her husband, Ashley Babbitt's husband, who both are trained, highly trained military, all of that kind of stuff. And he kind of broke things down, talking about how the man who shot her didn't follow what they call the force continuum, which is something that all agents, FBI, CIA, whatever, doesn't matter what you are trained in this manner, which is level 1, officer presence. You should be seen. Number 2, tactical communication. Level 3, physical control. Number 4, defense intermediate weapon. Number 5, disengagement. And the last level, lethal force. That man did not follow any of that at all. He literally cowered in a corner. And the minute she stood up on that window, he fired.
Mm-hmm. He executed her, plain and simple.
And come to find out, he was kind of tied in somehow, has ties to BLM and some other groups. So you might say, you know, what they were saying about all of us, that he was kind of a racist.
Yep. Well, and also he left his weapon in the latrine before and walked off and forgot it when he was in there doing his business. He left his gun in the latrine before.
Well trained.
Yeah, no. If that was the case, then he would have capped the poor girl coming in through the window. You know, when she was sneaking in like Sally through the bathroom window, he wouldn't have capped her.
Well, like I said on the last part, they didn't try to contact anybody. They just waited until the middle of the night, early morning, busted in their homes, screaming, yelling, banging on doors, shooting, what are those, the little fire thing, you know, that...
Flashbangs,
you know, and these are families, small children, and stuff like that. And then on top of that, there was no reading of rights. They weren't given their phone call. They went straight to jail. They weren't allowed to call or get an attorney immediately. They were all placed in pretty much, as one of them said, like a 6 by 10 foot cell along in solitary confinement. They didn't get access to showers, phones, weren't allowed to call anybody for weeks. They were called racist names like white cracker and things like that. And like he said, the only job those guards had was to keep their chest rising.
And that was the warden of the jail that said that. You know, the driver of the place, the head honcho, the MFIC. And that's the main something in charge person, right? And it wasn't and isn't an insurrection. If you want violence, look at BLM, look at Antifa. They've literally burned cities, blocks and blocks of cities, looted,
even
burned,
took
murdered,
cities,
and were let out of jail with not even a warning. Just let go. Okay, thank you. You can go home now.
Oh, I heard. I know it was Kamala, but I'm not sure who else. Actually had funding raised and waiting to bail these people out. And this is our government. They have no business whatsoever bailing these people out, protecting them, or anything like that. They are pretty much, I mean, they showed some of the Zoom videos of the BLM, Antifa, all of them having their meeting to plan all of this. I mean, that's like I said, they have proof. This is video of a Zoom call. And some of these people worked for the government.
And
yet they're sitting there planning this, quote, insurrection. I mean,
planning to be the orchestrators of the insurrection to entice the patriots that there were protesting the certification of the last election. Mm-hmm. Pence was to go before the Congress members and say, hey, I think we should do a double check and make sure that all these votes are legitimate votes. But with the quote unquote insurrection, those people that were in session were hustled out and stopped working on the process to not decertify, but to go back and do audits in the places that needed it. Those people were all rushed out because of the riot insurrection. So that wasn't put on hold. It was just plain dropped, and everybody walked away because of the problem.
Said insurrection.
Right. Now, all of the Congress people that kept saying, hey, look, all of this voter fraud is not even right because the courts have said that it's not right. Well, the courts never heard any arguments. They didn't hear a case. They didn't look at evidence. They refused to pick it up and run with it altogether. So by ignoring to touch it, the politicians, just like they did with the emails from this last week with Meadows, they doctored them and changed it to the way they wanted it to do and blamed it on us, whereas it was actually them. Yeah, they've got people in jail, incommunicado, not following due process, not following the Constitution. It's not kosher. And what you can do as a person to hopefully not get in that situation is if you go over to Prepare with Mojo 50, you can get yourself several weeks supply. As a matter of fact, the 3-month supply is on sale right now for $100 off the regular price. And all you have to do is go to preparewithmojo50.com and you can find the food there. You know, there's meal. It's a complete meal, 2,000 calories a day. There's breakfast, there's lunch, there's dinner, there's snacks, there's juices, the whole thing. You can take care of your whole family. And all you have to do is go to preparewithmojo50.com. Unlike those people that are in jail, at least you can pick out what you got to eat. They can't. They can't even make a phone call. Total incommunicado. It is not America. It's more like the Russian gulags or the German concentration camps. It's strictly to put a scare into the general populace like you, me, and everybody listening to say, ooh, I'm not gonna buck the system. Whatever the government says is fine. Oh yeah, 5 shots, 6 shots, 7 shots more, cool. We'll do it. I'm not gonna raise my voice, because if I raise my voice and say, hey, wait a minute, that's unkosher. What the fire truck? You work for me, Joe. I don't work for you. Then those people will get hammered bigly. They're trying to scare us so bad that we won't ever stand up and take offense at anything they say, do. Because if so, they'll put you underneath the jail and bury you.
Pretty much.
Completely.
I mean, they're acting like we, the people, are terrorists in our own country. They're using psychological warfare. When they arrested some of these people, they arrested on putting even ankle cuffs on them. They are trying to criminalize honest citizens who stand up for America, so everyone else will stop standing up. They make the narrative fit what they want to. It's not the truth. Example is the speech that Trump gave. They actually split that in a couple of different ways to make it sound like he was telling us to use violence. They even had across the thing, the label on it on the screen said violence and, you know, all that kind of stuff, which was all bullcrap. They are playing both sides. It's to create division. Like they're playing Antifa and BLM against the Proud Boys. They're calling the Proud Boys racist. They're trying to silence each side by causing a stir-up between each side. And like he said, you know, you got Antifa taking over cities. They're killing innocent people, beating up people, threatening and everything else, and yet they're not getting anything done to them. Nothing. The guy with the Proud Boys has been in for 4 months now. And
yeah, for burning a BLM flag.
For burning a BLM flag. You can burn the flag, the American
flag. You can wipe your butt with it and you're fine. But if you mess with a gay pride flag or a BLM flag, you're racist. It's considered a hate crime. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, we've politicians, good.
I was going to say, people have lost their jobs, their businesses. They've been evicted. One of the couples they have 3 children and they are now homeless just for going. They didn't even go inside. Isn't there still 200 people still in jail outside of the ones that you hear about?
70 people still.
Is there 70?
And
okay.
The politicians, even our very own bartender, AOC, thinks that it's more important to be morally correct than actually correct. So if you morally believe that 1 + 1 = 3, you should be allowed to do that because 1 + 1 = 2. Well, that's not morally right. You have to be morally correct. It's more important. She even said that it was more important to be morally correct than actually or physically correct. What? And these are the people that are driving the boat for the country? That's ludicrous. The CCP, the Chinese Socialist Party, is here and alive, doing well.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. Out of the people that he interviewed during the movie, one of them is looking at 62 years in prison. Another one,
or Troy.
Another one, his hearings keep getting postponed.
Right.
They're getting harassed. One of them is looking at 28 years in prison. One of them, the DEA agent, is looking at 15 years in prison. 70 people still behind bars. The BLM, the flag burning, 4 months. I mean, it really makes you wonder, you know, it's like, after watching this movie, what I myself got out of it is that we need to come together. No matter what. If we go to prison, if we get shot and killed, we have got to come together. Because the more that we lay down and just let them put fear in us and scare us and threaten and all this other kind of stuff, the more that they are stepping on us, taking away our rights and treating us as common criminals. And it's just not right. I mean, Ashley Babbitt's husband, he said, we need to come together as a country again and remember why we started this country. You know, it's like, what are most people willing to risk? What are you willing, you know, they can't kill us all.
No, exactly that. Even my sister in California, they have a new mask mandate. And I
I
was
saw
telling her the other
that.
day on Zoom, if 500,000 of you stood up and said no, they can't arrest everybody. They're finally going to have to capitulate and go, oh, well, yeah, maybe this is kind of on the stupid side.
Mm-hmm.
You would
That's the
have to
problem,
think
though.
that they would at some
It, it
point.
it makes you wonder how many people are scared to stand up now, seeing what's happening to these people. I mean, I already made my decision. It's like I said in Mike's chat. I don't have anything else to live for. If things are going the way they're going, none of us do. We're
Right.
nothing more than slaves to this country, and Agenda 21, which is now Agenda 30, is going to
No one
play
will own
out.
anything.
Yeah,
It's
and
in
you'll
and
be
throughout.
happy. And you'll be happy. They're going to take our land. They're going to take our homes. They're going to take everything. They're going to move us into the city. They're going to tell us what we have to do as a job. They're going to tell us what we can and can't do. I mean, at that point, do I want to be here anyway? So, to me, yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it to do what I have to do. And I'm not saying I'm going out and shooting people or anything like that. Yeah, you cross over my barrier, then yeah, we might have a problem. But we need to stand up. We need to take our country back, because they are doing nothing but destroying it.
They
We don't have
very
much
are.
left. I heard the other day somebody said something about our republic is pretty much already dead. So, I don't know. It's kind of scary. It's a scary thought that we have sat back blindly and believed what these people were telling us. And now their true colors are coming out and nobody's doing anything.
Nope. But you can do something. Have you been over to romikadesigns.com? Have you seen it? They've got the COVID shots over there. You can get both of them and the boosters to boot, or the decanter to put your said shots into, because you got to have, maybe some good agave or some nice rye, or maybe it's a nice malt that you have. Pour you a shot. That way, if they do come up to your door and wanting you to get jabbed, you can say, hang on, I got a shot. Here, wait a minute. I just took another one. You want one? And pour them too. You can say, wouldn't that be polite to offer the jabbers a shot of your favorite libation right out of your very own COVID shot glass from romikadesigns.com? And, you can save money over there by using the promo code MOJO50. Yippers, you sure can, over at romikadesigns.com. They got the phone stand. They have the bathroom plaques and the dot cutting board. Don't you have one of the dot cutting boards?
I ordered it, but I haven't got it yet.
It's the Postal Service is bringing it. Come on, Pete.
Yeah. Yeah, it's running slow. They always do.
This is true, but it'll get there.
I'm hoping in the next couple of days, maybe first of next week. Cross my fingers.
Right. Well, I didn't think my peach tumbler would get in as quickly as it did.
I got mine. Y'all need to go to Insane Tumblers and get
That's
your,
right.
get you a peach tumbler.
InsaneTumbler.com, right?
Yep.
And now, it's time for Spaced with Leprechaun.
I'm a huge space nut.
I'm just a plain nut. Ooh, guess what? Coming up this week, it's the solstice on the 21st, just scant days away. For us in the Northern Hemisphere, the December solstice marks the longest night and the shortest day of the year. Isn't that cool? Meanwhile, the Southern Hemisphere is having short nights and long days. It's reversed. The solstice is when the sun reaches its southernmost point in the sky And that'll happen Tuesday, the 21st at 9:59 or 10 a.m. my time. And this solstice is when the sun reaches the most southern point in the sky dome. That's, around us. And at this solstice in the northern hemisphere, it's the shortest day and longest night because of where it lines up. No matter where you live on Earth, and no matter what time the solstice happens for you, it's your signal to celebrate the seasonal change. Isn't that going to be great? And, oh, yeah, there's our little graphic. You can see how the Earth rotates around the sun, giving us the autumnal equinox, the winter solstice, the vernal equinox, and the summer solstice. See, there's the winter. We've tipped the farthest away from the sun at that point. That's why it's closest. So what is the solstice? The earliest people on Earth knew that the sun's path across the sky, the length of the day, and the location of the sunrise and sunsets all shifted in a regular way throughout the year. Kind of makes like a little Circle 8 thing. Have you seen any of those videos where a guy takes a picture out his window every day of the sunrise at, the same time? It makes this little like infinity sign. It's really kind of cool. Let's see. They built the monuments such as Stonehenge in England and Machu Picchu in Peru to follow the sun's yearly progress. Today we see the solstice differently. We can picture it from the vantage point of space, and we know the solstice is an astronomical event and caused by the tilt of the Earth's axis and the orbital motion around the sun. See, Earth isn't sitting straight up. We're just slightly off kilter by 23.5 degrees to be precise. And throughout the years, the tilt causes the northern and southern hemisphere to trade places, receiving the sunlight and warmth most directly. So when it's our winter, it's their summer. When it's our summer, it's their winter. It flips and flops. Let's see, the December solstice, the Earth is positioned so the sun stays below the North Pole's horizon, is seen from the latitudes of 23.5 degrees south of the equator at the imaginary line encircling the globe known as the Tropic of, you guessed it, Capricorn. Hey, guess what? It's December. Of course, it would be Capricorn. The sun shines directly overhead at noon. This as far south as the sun ever gets, and all locations south of the equator have day lengths greater than 12 hours. Meanwhile, locations north of the equator have day lengths shorter than 12 hours. That's because of the tilt. We get more darkness instead of sunlight. Let's see, for us, the northern part of the Earth, the shortest day comes at the solstice. After the solstice, the days will start to get longer and the night shorter. Yay! So instead of me falling asleep at 5 o'clock, I'll start falling asleep at getting closer to 6 o'clock. And then there's the other graphic that shows you where everything is. Let's see, where should you look to see signs of the solstice in nature? Everywhere. It's all around you. Nothing is so fundamental as the length of daylight. After all, sun is the ultimate source of light and warmth. I could sure use a bunch of that. Purdy. The solstice is going to be so spiffy and neat. And it happens.
Yeah, every year.
Twice. Let's see, how we doing on time? Minute and a half? 2 minutes?
About 3 minutes.
Oh, 3 minutes. Well, that's a long time. Let's see, our closest point to the sun, or perihelion, comes in early January, so we're moving fastest in orbit around now, slightly faster than our average speed of about 19 miles per second, or 30 kilometers per second. Oh, you want to play that? You got about enough time to finish that. Do you want to play that? You love that sounder.
Hang on. I'm trying to find
Well, if I grab it too long, it'll turn purple. We don't want it to fall off.
Okay.
The stigma and negative labels of Alzheimer's and dementia far too often prevent our seniors from seeking medical treatment and living the best quality of life possible. This is a cause that we here at the Trump Hates Puppies and whatever else we're trying to promote better foundation hold near and dear to our, well, as the man himself says,
if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
Stigma and lack of awareness have historically impacted disease research funding for Alzheimer's and dementia. That was, of course, before we successfully got a man suffering from those terrible diseases elected to the highest office in the land. In the future, misguided Nazi-like deplorable historians will throw around words like irresponsible and elder abuse.
It's nonsense.
Join us today. Make your donation a sign at the Trump Hates Puppies Foundation for Alzheimer's and Dementia Research. Like other great humanitarians, Joseph Mengele and Anthony Fauci, we believe medical progress is not always pretty. However, sacrifices must be made to ensure a brighter future for
All men and women created by go. You know the thing.
With your help, we can end stigma and create a brighter future for those suffering with dementia and Alzheimer's. Perhaps before we end up with Kamala Harris.
I love Chris. Chris always, Mr. Chris Brandon, he's always got something crazy going. Well, we want to thank everybody for listening, and if you haven't seen that movie, you definitely need to go check it out. Capital Punishment, the movie. Yeah, it's at that point. Stand up or follow the sheep.
Very true.
So we will see everybody next week. We're going to try and talk about Georgia Guidestones. So y'all have a great week, and we will see you next
Very
Sunday.
Merry Christmas.